Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How are you all doing? Welcome to my first Total War Warhammer online battle. We have an epic underway battle. I am playing as the Empire and my opponent is playing as the Dwarfs. So guys, this is my first online battle for Total War Warhammer, and I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you'd like to see some more online gameplay. I do have a couple battles in the pipeline, so if you want to see more, all you need to do is just show that support. So let's have a look at my army build here. I'm going with Balthazar Gelt as my general, simply because I think in this underway battle, I thought having a magic wielder would be in my best interest because of the close proximity as well, and his magic would really be useful in close quarters. This is a battle replay. I'm also going with, let's get a shot of the units here. I think I can get a pretty cool shot of the steam tanks as well. Hang on. We'll try to get as much cinematic shots in this. Man, those rocket batteries look awesome. So I went with 3 units of halberdiers, 4 great swords, 4 gun units, 4 Hellstorm rocket batteries, and 4 steam tanks. Now, quickly just looking at my opponent here playing as the Dwarfs. 3 units of gyrocopters and bombers. He's playing with Thorgrim Grudgebearer. I'm only using 1 mod for this episode. I'm using the advanced camera mod. It's on Steam. It's the top rated. You basically press N on your keyboard and you can get some really nice shot here of the Dwarfs. What have we got here exactly? Just a lot of Ironbreaker axe infantry looking at the Dwarfs, and organ guns as well at the back here. They also have a lot of flamethrowers, so it's basically 50-50. We do outnumber them, but the Dwarfs in, well, like I said before, close proximity, they are so dangerous. So I think let's start the battle and see how we do in this. Now, I went with a pretty defensive line because I had the high ground here. I had a really nice high ground. I put my tanks on the right simply because there was a bit of a disruption here from this landmark. I couldn't shoot up and over at the main line. So we've got Balthazar Gelt in the left-hand side here. We have our rocket battery and our gunners here just highly a little bit elevated, which is really quite nice. And of course we have our halberdiers and great swords. Halberdiers in the second and great swords in the first line. Now he decided to move up his gyro bombers eventually. It was a pretty interesting sort of tactic, relatively smart. He moved up his gyro bombers and copters to waste the ammo of my 4 steam tanks on the left hand side. They got a couple of shots off, but they're pretty inaccurate trying to shoot up and across there. So got my front line of great swords, halberdiers in the second, and my gunners and Hellstorm rocket batteries in the second. So it was a bit of a stalemate at the moment. We both went with a relatively defensive sort of army builds. Obviously the Dwarfs having a lot of artillery there, a lot of organ guns. Here, the flamethrowers here. What are they exactly called? Iron Drakes. Yeah, some really nice units here with the Dwarfs. Flame cannons in the front. Alright, let's start speeding things up a little bit until the gyro bombers come up. I thought this battle was going to start off a little bit more quicker. So here we go. The bombers and the gyrocopters pushing up. And they move just in range for my steam tanks to get some shots off. And to be honest, I probably shouldn't have moved my steam tanks up to engage, because they did lose a lot of their shots against them. But it's going to be interesting to see if I can pull off a victory here today. We have a lot of great swords, but once they fall up their gyro bombers and copters and their fire drakes, it's going to be interesting to see. But I highly recommend steam tanks if you haven't already used them. But just look at this line of the Hellstorm rocket battery and our gunners here. Awesome stuff. So the gyro bombers are nearly in range. I've initiated my steam tanks to move up. I would have liked to split them up a lot more, but I had a really nice high ground here, so I wanted to keep the advantage. I definitely didn't want to push, because these gunners can shoot up and over my front line. So my bombers, my steam tanks are now firing at the bombers, but as you see, they're not doing much. They're not really effective, and are wasting my ammo more than anything. As you see there, missing a lot of my shots, because the gyro bombers dip back and forth. So it was a pretty interesting tactic, trying to waste my steam tank. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys, your favourite faction. We did manage to dink one, and then he's decided to go with a full-on assault, which was a little bit foolish, seeing as my Hellstorm rocket batteries were in range, and they basically just rain fire and death upon the enemy, and basically take out my we basically take out their gyro bombers now. Now Hellstorm rocket batteries are heavily inaccurate, and now he's going for a straight push straight to my steam tanks. But at this point, his gyro bombers and gyrocopters are wavering. Had 3 units over them. My steam tanks are getting a little bit of damage, but the Hellstorm rocket battery are pretty exceptional at especially dampening these batteries. They're pretty inaccurate, the rocket batteries, but if you hit into a cluster of units, you'll be laughing. So we managed to neutralize their air superiority eventually, and after that he didn't want to sit back. He wanted to full on charge and try and push me back, which going for this aggressive charge, pushing up his artillery to get in range of mine, is well, it's going to work to his favour, actually, funnily enough. So more artillery coming up. The dwarves have some of the best infantry and the best technologies in the game in Total War Warhammer. Obviously they do lack cavalry and have some of the best melee defense. But my Hellstorm rocket batteries are still raining fire and death upon their gyrocopters and bombers. And at this point, Balthazar Gelt looks a little bit more confident. But we don't want to waste too much of my Hellstorm rocket batteries. And we're finally redirecting our fire into the dwarves. They're going for a full-on charge, pushing up here. And like I said before, even though that the Hellstorm rocket batteries are inaccurate, hitting them into clusters of dwarves, especially like that, is going to be very effective. So he's pushing with a full-on charge. This battle was actually very close at the end of it, believe me or not. We have an incredible, great high position here. My steam tanks are firing at will. We have our great swords and our halberdiers in the first and second. Now thinking back, I probably shouldn't have gone with too many halberdiers. Probably should have gone with more great swords. But yeah, because obviously halberdiers are more anti-infantry. But we're slowly but surely waiting for his men to come up, and my Hellstorm rocket battery is having an absolute field day out there. So his dwarves are now charging, but I've got to give it props to him. Obviously I had the campy sort of high ground position. It wasn't in my best, like, it wouldn't be in my best interest to charge dwarfs. I think that would be fucking insane. Would lose instantly. But you got to give it to him deciding to full on charge and throw everyone up. And it's actually sort of interesting, the result at the end of it. So my tanks on the right here are doing quite well. My Hellstorm rocket battery, so it's just basically an artillery bombardment. Let's have a look at the casualties sustained and casualties inflicted. I've only actually killed roughly around about 100, 150 of his men, and they haven't even got... well, they're definitely more than halfway now. Balthazar Gelt is going to be using some of his magic soon. Obviously, I do prefer Karl Franz. He is a duelist, and if you can get him on Deathclaw in close proximity as well, he is just absolutely insane. But the dwarves are pushing up now, slowly but surely, and my great swords are getting ready for a hell of a fight. Balthazar Gelt is throwing off a piece of magic there, and raining stuff from down above. So my gunners now are in range of the dwarfs, and they're going to be getting some shots off now. With this elevated high ground position, we can clearly shoot up and over the heads of our halberdiers. But here come the dwarves. A dwarves versus Empire faction. I really do like the Empire on online. They've got a lot of good units to counter others. So here we go. My cannons are coming in, and now they've decided to throw their explosives, which does a lot of damage to me. Even with my Hellstorm rocket batteries and my steam tank on the right, the dwarves absolutely bombarding me here in the front line does a lot of damage to my great swords and my halberdiers. And at this point, I do manage to decide to charge because I think, fuck, if he's just going to sit back here and bombard us. The dwarves have a really good high defense. He actually nearly broke my front line there. A couple of my men were actually wavering, so I made the decision to charge. Brave men of the Empire, swords at the ready, getting knocked back here, and their cannons firing at mine as well. So here's the big line engagement coming up. My halberdiers and great swords at the ready, and it's only time will tell how this battle will end up. A lot of friendly fire. Here we have Thorgrim Grudgebearer in the thick of it. Oh my god! Just reveling in the explosions. My Hellstorm rocket batteries still have a lot of ammo in my steam tanks. Where is Balthazar Gelt? I think I've lost him. I think I threw him. Yeah, I threw him down in here to have a bit of a crack at Thorgrim here. The dwarves at the back are getting their shots off with their artillery, doing reasonably quite well. At this point, my gunners were a little bit out of range, and we're going to cause more friendly fire than what they're worth. My halberdiers actually broke here, this charge, so I was a little bit frightened at this point. They were in a better position than me. My great swords, well, I say that. It was a little bit even, to be honest. Both my great swords and my halberdiers were retreating. And only time will tell how this battle ends up. A unit of halberdiers retreating here. Balthazar Gelt pushing out. I'm throwing all my magic buffs on Thorgrim Grudgebearer, trying to break him, of course. Now with my units fleeing back, I've told all my gunners to fire at Thorgrim Grudgebearer. And they're actually doing quite well, weakening him down here, and it's in a full retreat. Once we wiped out Thorgrim, the other dwarves managed to flee. So a decisive victory. Let's end our first Total War Warhammer Online battle there. So we deployed 1,381, we lost 355, my enemy deployed 1,037, and lost 628 on the field. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below if you'd like to see more Total War Warhammer Online battles. I would like to do some more, but it's up to you guys. Like I said, I've got a couple more exciting battles in the pipeline. The steam tanks did exceptionally well. The Hellstorm rocket batteries did okay. Balthazar Gelt didn't get a kill. My handgunners with that high elevated position did awesome. I really like the defensive lines in this. But guys, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my social media links, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And maybe I could do some online battles against you guys. But regardless, guys, I need to end the video here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.